Hey, this is John Reynolds, 52, Snooki, and I am rucking here on the west side of Wilmington as part of F3 Cape Fear. Welcome to Ruck'n'Yuck. Rucking gives you the opportunity to have one-on-one or small group conversations, and the mission of Ruck'n'Yuck is to capture some of those conversations, talk about rucking, talk about life, talk about the unexpected.
I was like, are we just going to start?
We're just going to start. How else would you like to start?
I think this is perfect.
That's kind of a redundant question. All right, we're going to make do with the best that we can, I think.
You're a legend.
You're a legend. Well, you wouldn't if, let the car pass. One of the things we'll definitely do here is if you ever want to start over, just pause.
Okay.
Like, if a car goes by, and I'll just edit that out.
Okay.
But if you say something really funny, I'm not going to edit that out.
That's fair enough. I'll do my best.
Well, it's a great thing to be able to ruck with beauty. The Nant'an Emeritus?
Emeritus?
How's Emeritus? How's your Latin?
Words.
Yeah, right, words. How'd you say it?
Emeritus?
Emeritus. Yeah, I guess that is it. That works. That works for me. So,
We'll just land on that this morning.
Yes.
From here on out, it's Emeritus.
Emeritus.
For everybody that's
Yep,
listening.
exactly. It's too early for Emeritus.
We may be right or not, but...
Right. So, if I know somebody once commented on a previous Ruck'n'Yuck that we were rucking really slow, and they're like, normally people don't ruck that slow. And I was like, well, yeah, but if you can't ruck that slow, then you can't talk. If you have to ruck faster, then you usually can't keep up a conversation, and I want everybody to hear the conversation. And so if you didn't like that pace, you're not going to like this pace today at all. But why are we at such a slow pace today?
Man, I could say something really spiritual, like Jesus was never in a rush, He's never in a hurry to get anywhere.
Yeah.
And so we're just trying to model that. The reality is, I'm a few weeks post-op from ACL surgery.
Okay.
And so we're just taking it easy this morning.
There's the leg. We got the brace and everything, yes.
Snooki has graciously decided to walk at my pace instead of his breakneck pace.
Yeah, breakneck pace. Goat pace, as we like to say
Goat
here, right?
pace.
So, and how that was surgery was in August?
August, yeah.
August, okay.
August 2nd.
All right, and what's the road ahead looking like?
The road ahead is you have anywhere from 6 months to a year for full recovery. And I just got off crutches officially a little over a week ago. I was walking around a little bit before that, but just rolling with it and enjoying the journey. Physical therapy has been fun. And it's cool. TD did my surgery.
TD being?
Tiny Dancer.
Yep, Tiny Dancer.
And then Captain Stooping is the PA, and of course got flight nurse giving me crap because he's a nurse practitioner.
Yeah.
We were doing flutter kicks the other morning.
Do your PT!
Yeah, he's like, do your PT. We were doing flutter kicks the other morning, and flight nurse was like on my left. And he's like, are you supposed to be doing that with your quad? And then LATC is right to my left. And then LATC says, well, his surgeon's right next to him. Why don't you ask him? Tiny Dancer just laughed. He said, yeah, he's fine. So
yeah.
It's nice to be surrounded by some guys who know what they're talking about, at least pretend to.
Asking you if you know what you're doing with your knees, but also talking to you like you just had ear surgery, right? Do you know what you're doing?
I'm right here.
I'm right here.
Yes.
Can you tell me again what you wrote on your knee before the surgery?
Oh.
Okay.
So you just hear, like the cost to benefit ratio of, if I do this, it'll be funny, but if I don't do this, what are the chances? Maybe 1 in maybe 5 to 10 million, but just in case, if I don't mark the proper knee,
yes,
we could have some real regret here. So I took a Sharpie and I just wrote a big arrow down to the proper knee, and I said, this one, TD.
TD, yeah.
This one, Tiny Dancer.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
So
And he wouldn't have been insulted.
He wouldn't have been
I
insulted.
would hope we would see that big grin behind the beard, right? And he would have appreciated that.
Yeah.
But yes, he is an absolute gift to all those he helps, and he has helped a lot of people, not only F3 guys in our region, right, but a lot of people get mobile again, which is what we want to do.
Yeah, I always
We
get
wanna be
asked
mobile.
who did your surgery, and I say Doug Messina, and they're like, oh, I know Doug.
Yeah.
He did my shoulders. I just had a
Yeah.
conversation this past
Right.
Saturday. An older gentleman, he's like, oh yeah, he did both of my shoulders.
Right.
He's, I think, 81 years old, walking around like an absolute legend.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's like
shout out TD.
all the people he's worked on are like his descendants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they could all say, oh, he did my knee, he did my shoulder.
I mean, if it works, it's the best kind of advertising.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Plus, the gift was in the surgicare or surgical office.
Yeah.
Everyone then knew that his real name was Tiny Dancer.
Yeah.
So they're like, what is
Yeah,
TD? mean?
it's
Like,
unavoidable.
yeah, Tiny Dancer.
Tiny dancer. He's a tiny dancer. Dancer for money. You know
Wow.
the lyrics?
I mean,
You got to be up on your Tina Turner.
yeah,
It's funny.
I'm not quite that age yet.
Not quite that age. Don't worry. You gotta just don't. That's why we're going slow.
Yeah.
Slow pace. No need to rush anything. So I know I am not going to repeat a lot of things that were said on the High Impact Man podcast. Those guys up in Pennsylvania are fantastic, right?
They're super kind and loved hanging out with them. What's so cool is they're actually from Danville, Pennsylvania, which
Yeah.
is where my family is from.
Right.
It's where my mom and dad met.
Yes, cool. We were winging it today, some technical difficulties, but we got some nice light, and we're at the beach. I don't know, you can't really see anything. We've got a beautiful marina behind us, beautiful Wrightsville Beach.
Yeah, the fish are running right now, just to our left in the water.
The fish are running.
That's what you say, apparently.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
And we are at Turbo Tuesday, which is even more ironic that we're walking at
Breakneck
this
pace.
pace
Yeah.
while we got a lot of youngsters. Well, we got the names for respects. What's the name for 20-year-olds?
Hate.
Yes,
And
we
then
just,
if they're teenagers, double hate.
double hate. We do not like the fact that they're at the, I don't know, the age of what? Age of innocence?
Post-puberty.
Let's give a little history into End It Ruck. So when I joined F3, that was March 2021, and the planning and the awarding of the Nation 10-year anniversary had already happened, right?
Yeah.
Because that was planned around COVID time. So was it chicken or the egg? Did the 10-year come before End It Ruck? Did the End It Ruck part of 10-year? How did that work out?
If I remember correctly, a few of us had the idea for End It Ruck before the 10-year, and then 10-year just seamlessly came into the End It Ruck as an opportunity to get as many engaged guys as possible.
Yeah.
And then we kicked it down the road because of COVID, just having a ton of people gathered with all the city limitations, and ended up happening probably a year and a half to 2 years later than we originally planned for it to happen.
Okay. And so End It Ruck was presented to the nation, and what's the 411 of End It Ruck? What is it? Who is it for? And what was its purpose?
Yeah, the mission of End It Ruck is to shine a light on modern day slavery and raise funds to combat it. And when we presented it to the nation and really to everyone, we wanted to, at that time, max out our miles to raise funds for freedom. And we did that by encouraging guys to build out teams of supporters as they ran as many miles as possible over a 10-month period that year, leading up to the official End It Ruck event, which is a 26.2 mile ruck. And we did that because a ruck is where you're carrying heavy weight, and we wanted to do it through the night to represent the heavy weight that those in modern day slavery bear or carry in darkness. And then we wanted to finish that marathon distance of 26.2 miles shortly after sunrise in order to shine a light on the injustice of modern day slavery, of human trafficking. There's over 40 million people, more than ever before in history, in slavery right now throughout the world. And the human trafficking, really predominantly sex trafficking here, even in our own city of Wilmington, North Carolina, it still happens.
Yeah.
And we're just blind to it a lot of the time. So when we did it a few years ago, it was in partnership with International Justice Mission,
Yep.
which went really, really well. We raised over $120,000,
Yeah.
funded a bunch of rescue operations, and then the one piece of feedback that we got was, why not do something local?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, because International Justice Mission was more. Were we funding the operation to recover, or is it more the recovery had happened and then you are bringing the victim back to a haven or back to somewhere safely?
Great question. So with International Justice Mission, it was $6,550 per rescue operation.
Yeah, right.
And that could rescue anyone from 3 people to 500 people.
Okay.
And
so it's the whole operation.
yes, what they would say is it covers the actual rescue operation, and then it covers the rehabilitative care, especially for those who need psychological care, just any kind of rehabilitation, housing,
Right.
so on and so forth. That was their averaged out number that they could come up with, and
Right.
that's what they gave us to shoot for.
Okay. All right, we're back and we've switched sides.
I don't know if you guys can handle that or not, but I like this side better because it just showcases the beauty that this guy
Oh
has
my
right here.
gosh, yeah, okay. So coming from Mr. Beauty over here. We have, let's see. Oh yeah, so I did not do that. I did not do the End at Ruck that year. I was new. I didn't own a ruck.
Why didn't you do the end?
So I was invited to be on the worship team for the Sunday morning event that year. I was with Brady. And,
that was a powerful
yes.
plan.
So the vantage point that I had was that you guys were all coming up to the hotel after the ruck, and I still wasn't in the rucking culture yet. I never saw more tired, exhausted dudes in my life than when they came out of it, because it was 26 miles in sand. Too,
Yeah,
right?
It was, the majority of the miles were probably in sand down at Carolina Beach, which, of course, everyone loved that long, arduous journey.
Yes.
And had Flightners to thank for it.
Yes, and it came into the hotel, and there was a huge breakfast buffet line, and it was literally guys scooping stuff on their plate like they had never eaten before, and just taking their plates up to their rooms and crashing. So,
but some of us stuck around for the
yes.
service, right?
So mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Yes, they definitely bore the weight. In all seriousness, for those to be recognized, because everybody needs to be seen, but at the same time, everybody needs somebody to help shine a light on something that's going wrong, and that's where we are stepping in for this next one.
Yep.
Which tell me how this one came about, because let's see, we were in mid 2024, right?
Yes.
And where were you at, and how did this second one come about?
This has been a dream for a while, just that we would continue to carry the mantle of End at Ruck, because it was so effective the first time, and just decided there's not a perfect way to do this. You just fail forward, and analysis paralysis happens to everyone. So went ahead and said we're going to raise $100,000 in 100 days. I believe it started July 4th, and have really jumped into the journey. Today is officially 18 days out from the Saturday, October 12th, that we'll finish the actual End at Ruck October 11th, 9 p.m. to October 12th.
Yep.
Shortly after sunrise, and we've raised over $45,000 so
It's
far.
amazing.
Praise God. Super, super thankful for that, and the high impact men that have stepped up and stepped in, and just even thankful knowing that there are going to be more that are going to step up and step into the fight.
We've had $10 gifts, we've had $29 gifts, we've had $10,000 gifts. It's been amazing. Matching gifts.
Yep. We had a very large gift as well.
All right. So why are we doing this? How is this one different from the other one?
Yeah. Why are we doing this? Because we realize that this evil exists in our very own city, and forget the exact quote, but evil happens when good men stand idly by and decide to do nothing. So our goal is to really glorify God through this process of setting captives free, and we're doing that in partnership with First Fruit Ministries by helping fund their human trafficking wing, where they don't go rescue the victims, but they've been called by the FBI and said, hey, we've rescued these people, can we drop them off to you? And we want to fund the 6-month to a year-long rehabilitative care that they offer to victims of human trafficking, which is in essence modern day slavery. Incredibly important. Because they can be enslaved in prostitution or homelessness and prostitution or whatever that is for years, and you don't just escape from that and 3 days later you have to go back to your life. You need therapy, therapy services to help you get back to a socialization with other people, right? You have to get back to feeling good about yourself and your worth in society. I mean, there's so much going on that needs to be done, and First Fruit can help restore that over the course of a year, which is amazing. Right. Yeah, it's hard for you and I and a lot of people to grasp the reality that there really are people who have been taken and then held against their will.
Right.
And what they often do is they get them addicted to drugs, and then they can just do whatever they want with them. Right. When they're done with them, they end up homeless. Right. Yeah. And this whole trajectory of their life is completely changed, which in essence, especially for women, changes the whole trajectory of generations to come.
Right.
And one of our guys, they had an open house at First Fruit Ministries. I know you went out to that, Snick. I'd love to hear what you thought about that. But one of our guys had an interaction with the front desk receptionist at First Fruit Ministries when he went to go check out their open house. And she told him the story about how she had been trafficked. And it started with when she was at Carolina. And she got kidnapped from a gas station.
Just pumping gas. Next thing she knows, she's in a van.
And she got addicted to drugs, and all the things then just spiraled into homelessness for her after she'd been trafficked years and years down the road. She got out.
It's even worse. Well, I don't know. It's the quote that you said before about evil is doing nothing. When something needs to be done, but also we can't take for granted that everybody's out there planting rose gardens either. And there are there's evil in a lot of people that who else is going to step up and combat, right? You see an opportunity to help, you're going to step up and help. So what you've spearheaded a second time here, right? All the packs are rallying around. It's a beautiful thing.
It's an honor to run with a bunch of guys that are also really, really passionate about this, including you. And I want to shout out Gump and Big Sky for being a huge part of the first one. That never would have happened if it weren't for them. You've got Flight Nurse and Seahorse and 10 Count and Steak Knives. And there are a ton of men that made this happen. And now we've got Wapner and I sitting on the board at First Fruit Ministries, really getting a picture and a scope of why we're doing what we're doing, why this is worth it, and a ton of other men that are saying, I'm going to devote my time to this.
We have, they're on a board of 8. So you are on the board at First Fruit Ministries, and also Aaron Lindquist, aka Wapner.
We get to serve on the board together at First Fruit Ministries, so we get a little behind the scenes look at what the needs are and really what the actual work is that's being done. What I love about First Fruits is they do practical things like food pantry, they do worship services, and they have even medical care that they provide in partnership with a clinic on that same property. But then they, in addition to housing victims of human trafficking, they're like on the front lines. They go and they will venture into tent camps that no one else goes into because they're just afraid, and they'll just go and fill the need that the tent camp has and essentially just bring the good news of Jesus to those camps.
Yeah, I was impressed. You know, when you start a company, you should know a little bit about your company, right? Whatever it is, you know, selling widgets or you know, food or whatever it is. But the founder is Rick Stoker.
Rick Stoker. Leanna Stoker.
Yeah.
Husband and wife.
Starting a homeless ministry, just went full bore and you know, lived homeless for 4 months under a bridge to make sure that he understood the, you know, the plight of those right, that don't have a roof over their head. So beautiful people here we're talking about.
Something really interesting about that is, like, I would hear that and think, oh, he was probably close to homelessness anyway.
Yeah.
But as I understand it, he was doing fine, well into the six figures with a medical sales job.
Yeah.
And decided, okay, God, I think this is what you're calling me to do. It took a massive step of faith, and then went and lived under a bridge.
Right. So we talk a lot about high impact men at F3, and you know, we do a wide range of things, and one of the best things we could do too is support the high impact men and women of our community that are doing this as a full-time ministry, full-time passion, a full-time calling. So you know, what better organization to stand up for? In other news, can you not wait to get back to surfing?
Oh,
like, how bad do you want to get on a board?
I would love to do all the things. I'd love to even just run with the guys at Turbo Tuesday. I'd love to go surfing. I'd love to actually ruck with you, Snooky, instead of be the one guy that's like slowing you down.
Well, you know, I'd like to actually surf with you because I've never been surfing.
Wow. So maybe we should actually try that.
We should try that.
I think you could do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Be sure to like this video, and more importantly, subscribe to F3 Cape Fear. We will have more Ruck'n'Yuck episodes up shortly. Morning.
I love seeing older dudes. That guy that just ran by us had.
Yeah, I can't get you on video saying older dudes.
I love seeing respects. Absolute, like, triple respects, just getting after it at 5-something in the morning, and they're trudging along, running. I'm out here just limping along. Like, man, maybe one day I'll be like.
Maybe one day.